So, in my definition, basic morality is just being smart. And the definition of evil in my book is wasting time. And the definition of good is helping time not be wasted or making sure your time isn't wasted. It's more complicated than it sounds in the sense that, like, we live in a bureaucracy, and so it's impossible to not have your time wasted, because that's what bureaucracies are. They're just layers of wasted time. There's many misconceptions, I would say, about good and evil. A lot of people think good is making other people happy. Well, if it makes you happy. But some people are made happy by making other people unhappy, or some people are made unhappy by people who, and I'm one of them, just go around approving of other people, because it leads to a lack of progress. If everyone thinks what they're doing is right, then there's no progress, and then we're wasting time. So it's not just about being positive or negative or anything quite that simple. It's too easy. And there's definitely a huge amount of superfluous morality. Particularly here where I live in Portland, people are like, I don't eat meat, I don't shop at corporations, blah blah blah. And it's a good thought, because it's important. It's the spice of morality. Like it goes on top, but it really, in the end, these corporations, if they want to make up for the profit that they lose, or like whatever bit you might slow them down, which is negligible in the end, you don't actually stop them, you just slow them down a tiny imperceptible amount. If they really want to make up for that, how they'll do it is they'll hurt someone else even more. They'll go to these countries where we have basically enslaved workers and enslave them even worse than they're already enslaved. So it's sort of superfluous morality. A much simpler form of morality, if you really want to go for the everyone's happiness is important, which it is, because people, when they're happy, work harder. And if they work harder, they do more things, and if they do more things, less time is wasted because there's more things being made. A happy person will make more art, for instance, but sometimes if they're happy in the wrong way, they'll make sort of bubblegum art. No one likes. Plenty of people like bubblegum art, but I don't. Anyways, a good general rule though is save people. Like being there for people when they need you most is pretty much one of the easiest and most appropriate forms of morality. Far superior to, not eating meat or something like that. Being there for people when they need you is like, it's important, and always be there for yourself first. To me, selfishness is truly the root of all good, because if you really do something for your benefit, you're not going to screw people over. It doesn't actually benefit you that much to screw people over, maybe in a short term, but like in the long run, you want business partners. You don't want slaves, you want business partners, because business partners have their own motivations for creating new and better things. Slaves will just redo the same thing over and over again. And, where do I go from here? So yeah, that's, it's just basic business. Basic businesses, basic intelligence, trade correctly, and that's basic morality. Be there for people when they need you, though. I think it's really, it's more important. Like, you can't consider yourself a moral person if you aren't there for people when they need you. And always be there for yourself first. That's the only rule. But, like, don't kid around about it, especially if this person, never mind. Misplaced love. I am a huge unintentionally, is that if you, all things, good, evil, whatever, random, yellow, they all exist because of love, essentially. There's more to it than that. I don't want to sound like a hippie, but I don't like hippies. You need love to continue going on. You know, love is nourishment, love is food, love is water, love is, it's positive, it's a good thing, and it gives you a yes confirmation. That's love. Misplaced love, though, watering the weeds, feeding the parasites. You can't just go around and feed everything that asks for food. You can't go around and love everything and consider that positivity, because really, there's so many things that don't deserve it. And me personally, and men, listen, I've done it so much. There are many women out there who don't deserve the love they get. And this is where a lot of bad things come into play. It's kind of, I know it's weird to point fingers like that, but there are a lot of women who shouldn't be approved, who should be pushed to be better than they are. And they aren't, because it's too much of an improbable situation. I earlier in a video spoke about religions and how they create feedback. They exclude anything that isn't approving. Well, same thing happens to a lot of women, where they'll get in these situations where they're so used to being approved of that anyone who doesn't approve of them, they push away. And then it leads to them not growing. It leads to them not having that, there's yin and yang. One is the motherly force that says, you are amazing, you're perfect as you are, you're doing wonderfully. And then there's the fatherly force, and they don't actually have to be so, genderized, but the fatherly force that says, you could do better, you're not your best, you're selling yourself short if you stop now. And that's one of those things that, it's not easy to get across to a lot of girls, because they've been approved of so much, they've had so much misplaced love, that they kind of treat it as nourishment. And that's how I believe evil grows, is people get the wrong love and they get really used to it.